if you look at the oral history from a lot of ancient cultures, they always talk about like ancient India. It's one of the most crazy kind of stories through their, like the Vedas, they talk about like these civilizations that existed like 40, 50,000 years ago.
Hello and welcome to the Mr. Bill podcast. I'm Bill's manager, Anand Harsh. I'm also editor-in-chief of theunst.com. Hope everyone had a super spreader event-free Thanksgiving. Perhaps you're now recovering from your tryptophan phase. If you're in Southern California, I hope you'll be seeing Bill at the Park and Rave with Ganja White Night this weekend. It's already sold out though, so if you're just finding out about it now, I'm afraid you're SOL. Bill's guest today is Michael Petzel, aka Shlump. And let me tell you, I've been excited about this dude since he hopped on the stage as a youngster out of NorCal a few years back. He's released on Circus and Deep, Dark, and Dangerous, and has such a killer sound, and he and Bill just have a fun conversation. Thank you for supporting the show. You can subscribe at patreon.com/MrBillsTunes, and there are tons of other perks like early access to episodes and special bonuses like subscribers got last week. Finally, please head over to MrBillsTunes.com to sign up to become a hardcore Abletoneer. You get full access to Bill's project files and tutorials, access to nearly 30 sample packs, and so much more. All right, here's Bill's chat with Shlump.
Hey, you're listening to the Mr. Bill podcast.
Hey, you're listening to the Mr. Bill podcast.
Hey, you are listening to the Mr. Bill podcast.
Hey, you're 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 listening to the Mr. Bill podcast. Hey, you're listening to the Mr. Bill podcast.
Hey, you're listening to the Mr. Bill podcast.
Hey, you're listening to the Mr. Bill podcast.
Hey, you're listening to the Mr. Bill podcast.
Sick, man. All right, well, sweet. Thanks for coming on the podcast. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure, man. This is honestly my first podcast I've ever done, so.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I find that they're like, you've done interviews and shit, right? Like in green rooms and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. And I've done a lot of just like, where they send you questions and you answer them.
Yeah.
Like not in person, but.
Yeah, so sorry, go on.
I got like really into kind of podcasts probably about a year ago, and through like watching Joe Rogan and stuff and some of his, but yeah, I got super into Duncan Trussell's podcast, and that's like
nice.
Kind of how we linked. I tagged you in that little post, and I was like, that was a really good one, by the way.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, Duncan's the man. He's such a fun guy to talk to. He just has like such a crazy way of like looking at life.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's like really good at articulating things too. He just has like a cool way with words,
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Hopefully I'll go on his podcast again soon. I was supposed to go to a show of his in San Francisco, like in June or July or something like that, because we did the podcast this year, I think in February or March, which feels like fucking ages ago now. But
damn, so like right before the pink hit.
Yeah, we did it just before, basically. Like I think actually that trip where I was in LA doing that podcast with him, I was also like hanging out with Ben from Ganja White Night, and I did a show for Mousetrap and like did a bunch of stuff down there. And then on the way home, I decided I was canceling my whole next tour, which is like fucking crazy, man.
Yeah, it was insane when I found out about the COVID stuff. Like I'd heard a bunch of rumors, and like I was in Canada the week before everything shut down. And I remember I like went to the cannabis club to like get some weed, and I was like talking to the lady there, and I was like, yeah, I'm going up to Canada. And she was like, she's just super concerned. She's like, oh no, you shouldn't be traveling right now, And I was like, what? And she's like, you haven't heard of the whole COVID like thing popping off? But yeah, I did those shows. And then the next weekend I was out for South by Southwest, like out in Austin, Texas. Mm-hmm. And right when I got in, this is like the last show I did, it was with a bunch of the Wakan dudes. And I met up with Loper and Nate. They're two of the guys who run Wakan. And like as soon as I got to the show, I just saw Loper like having this like, I don't know, really intense looking conversation on the phone. Just like his facial expressions and body language, I could just tell. I was like, oh, this is like, he's having a gnarly conversation right now. And then like, as soon as he got off, he just came up and was like, the whole tour is canceled. And I was like, what? Because I was actually supposed to go on this bus tour with Liquid Stranger and to do like 10 days right after that. So it was,
was that with Dirt Monkey as well?
Yeah, Dirt Monkey was on a couple of the shows. Yeah, so it was wild. Like, just seems to happen so quick, you know?
Yeah. I had 10 dates lined up for my halftime EP tour. And it was funny because like I kind of like told everyone I wasn't going to do it like a week before everyone else started canceling their shit. And it was just, I remember how like a lot of people, like especially my management and stuff, just thought I was overreacting. They were like, oh no, you're being like way too like paranoid and stuff to cancel a whole tour. And then literally like 3 to 5 days later, everyone was canceling everything. It was just such a crazy turn at that time.
Everyone's just like, what? Why are you canceling? And then as soon as it happened, it was like a domino effect. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know. It's been, honestly for me being like so heavily touring the past like 5 years, it's been kind of nice to get this break. Like being out of work definitely sucks, you know, you know, I love playing shows. I love getting to travel, but I don't know, getting this much time at home it's been really nice in some sense. Like, I'm sure that you can relate a little bit on some level. Just touring all the time can like, I don't know, it can just get kind of like draining, you know?
Yeah, totally. I've heard that that idea espoused by a bunch of DJs at this point, and I agree completely. I think it's like, it's touring is one of those things where like if you just keep putting shows in front of me, I'll just keep taking them. Like, I don't know why. Even if the offers are low, I'll just be like, oh, you know, it's a good look. Fuck. Like, and it's just this, like, weird psychological Stockholm effect type thing. Yeah, where you're just totally. Like, yeah, fuck, I guess I'll do the $750 show because it's a good look or whatever. And then, you know, maybe I'll get paid more later. Or, like there's this whole fucking weird game that you have to play there. So, I was just taking, like, every show, basically, or a lot of them, at least. And it's been, kind of refreshing to have, like, to just not have the option to do them, I guess, because it like just gives you this built-in break that you probably wouldn't, that I at least probably would never have given myself.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. The past like 5 years for me has been pretty steady. Just, you know, I'll get a couple of breaks that are like maybe 2, maybe 3 weeks tops, but then it's just like I'm back on it, and just seems like I can never get in like a, I don't know, like a daily routine, daily schedule type thing, you know, where I wake up at this time, go to bed at this time, like do whatever kind of things I like to do during the day. It's just kind of like all up in the air. It's like I'll get home for a couple days and, you know, just kind of like fuck off watching movies and fucking playing video games and shit like that. So yeah, this break has been good. I got to, I don't know, set some positive kind of habits and got to skate a lot too, which I love to do. So yeah, it's been cool.
Yeah, I saw a tweet that you made where you posted a couple of like video clips here and there of you skating, and it looks like you're pretty into it. Like you're doing kick flips into grinds and shit like that. Seems tough.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, back when I was a lot younger, I was way more into it. It's kind of like it was, I guess you could say it's like my first passion. It was the first thing that I really found that I like clicked with and just wanted to do all the time. And like, you know, it's kind of one of the great things about music as well. You know, it's like something that really puts you in the moment, as kind of cliche and cheesy as that sounds. Like, just kind of takes you away from all of your, I don't want to say worries, but you're just like running mind, you know, your mind that's just constantly thinking and blah, 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 blah. I need to do this. I need to do that. Like, I don't know. When I go to skate, it's like just fully there, you know, fully present. And it's just fun, you know, it like rekindles some kind of childhood, I don't know, essence, some kind of,
it's like nostalgic.
Yeah. Some vibe of just, you know, back when I was a little kid, just riding around on my board. And yeah, it's trippy, you know. I got into it probably when I was like 7 or 8 years old. And, was really into it until I was like, I don't know, teenager, 13, 14. That's when I really got into music, like got really into playing guitar and was playing a lot of death metal. And yeah, so it's weird. Like when I was in my early mid 20s, I kind of like, I still would skate around every now and then and just do it. But I moved back to the town I grew up in for like a year, Sebastopol. And they just had this super dope skate park there. And I was like living pretty close to it. And I was like, dude, I should go skate there. And I just went one day and was like, what? It was just so much fun. And yeah, since then I kind of slowly picked up where I was at. And yeah, it's trippy. I didn't think that I'd be like getting this into it when I just first started doing it again, you know, in my mid 20s. But it just like sparked, you know, and I just reconnected. It was like I walked in like a old like library full of dust and spider webs, and I was just like picked up some books, you know. It's like that's how I felt with the tricks. It was like these old tricks that were still in my like muscle memory and still in my brain, but I just had to like dust them off and like spend a little time getting them right. But yeah, it's been cool, man. I kind of got back to where I was at when I kind of transitioned from skating like all the time every day to doing music all the time every day.
Right. Is this like a thing that you got back into through COVID or through quarantine, or is it something that you got into before?
Probably I would say like around like 2013, 14, I moved back to Sebastopol where I grew up. And like I had a funny kind of, I guess, period right outside of high school where I got really into like growing weed and doing this whole like weed hustling thing. And yeah, it kind of like consumed my life. I thought of it like, oh yeah, I'm gonna like grow some weed and make a bunch of money and life will be great, you know? But it was like, I don't know, just a full-time job, just doing shit all day, every day, driving hours, going here and there, and a lot of work. So it's like, and I always wanted to do music through this whole time. So it was kind of like putting music in the back burner while I was just growing weed and doing this whole, I don't know, trap life thing. So yeah, I did that for a couple of years, and then I ended up moving back to Sebastopol, the town I grew up in. And that was kind of when it re-sparked. I'd say like 2013, 2014. And yeah, just got super into it. It was like living right next to a skate park. I feel like that was part of it too. I would walk by it all the time and just be like, oh shit, that looks dope. Like I should go skate there. So yeah.
I thought you were in Santa Cruz. Are you in Sebastopol now?
Yeah, I'm in Santa Cruz now.
All right.
Yeah, around like 2013 or 14, I moved to Sebastopol from, because I was living way out in the boonies, probably when I was like 18, right out of high school. I grew a crop of weed on my friend's grandparents' house, and it was totally sketchy. Like they didn't even know that we were doing it, and I just like camped out there. And like, I just grew weed this one season and ended up getting like a good harvest and made some money. And then, yeah, from there, I ended up moving way out in the boonies and like I had these 2 houses for really cheap that I could just kind of do whatever I wanted at. And I grew outdoor and indoor at one of them. And, yeah, during that whole time was kind of right when the Shlump project kind of started to gain momentum. It was trippy as it all kind of came together. It was like I always really wanted to make my living doing music, you know, but I had some weird kind of thought process, like either like you make it, you know, or you're a starving artist, you know. That was kind of right. And I feel like the internet changed a lot of that, because now you can promote things yourself, you can sell merch, you can, I don't know, do all these different things to make money and there's more of like almost like a middle class ground now for artists and musicians. But I
That
always
was kind of always the case, though, right? Like, I don't feel like it was ever so black and white. Like, you're either starving or you're rich. Like, I think it was always kind of a gradient in there.
Yeah, totally. I think that was also a part of just like a weird, I don't know, thought process, a weird mentality that I had, you know? So I always kind of put a lot of energy into like doing this weed thing because I was like, oh, I'm going to make a bunch of money doing that.
And then that can like fund your passion of writing music kind of.
Exactly, yeah. But it ended up kind of being the opposite. It kind of consumed my life and just took so much energy out of me. And to be honest, it was, I don't know, it was just like a paranoid lifestyle. I would always be worrying about things, worrying about the police, worrying about getting robbed, worrying about this or that. And yeah, it's like kind of consumed my life for like 4 years. And so yeah, I was out in the middle of the boonies, and that's where I kind of released my first EP as Shlump. It was up there. I think it was called Hydro. It was on this record label out of the Bay Area called Mal Label. And that was kind of right when things started kindling. It was like I was producing a lot of kind of 808 based music and like, I don't know, trappy style beats.
Yeah, remember that like phase that everyone went through around like, I want to say like 2012 or something. It was like that Bay Area trap phase where it was kind of what was that song that got big? There was the Harlem Shake, but then there was also that other one by that Kennedy Jones guy.
There's a bunch of ones that got really big. What was that one? Yeah, it was so funny.
Kennedy Jones trap song. I gotta figure out what this is.
Yeah, there was like some Flostradamus song that really got me into it. It was
Suavemente,
Suavemente.
The Kennedy Jones trap remix.
For
He's
sure.
like Suavemente.
Yeah, dude, yeah, it was like an era for sure.
Yeah,
Honestly,
so you're making like that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I was making that kind of stuff. I got really into it. Yeah, and I did a release on Mal Label, like I said, and it got the attention of some blogs, and that's kind of, I don't know, where I started to see some growth on my SoundCloud. It was like I got a bunch of reposts from, it was like EDM trap or something like that. Yeah, and then the momentum just started gaining. I started doing a lot of just like self-releases on Bandcamp and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. Prior to that, like what really got me into doing this type of music was like going to festivals, honestly. When I was 18, the first summer out of high school, I went to this festival called Symbiosis that was in...
oh, yeah, I know that one.
Yeah, and this year it was in like right near Yosemite. And yeah, kind of prior to that, I was playing a lot of guitar and doing a lot of death metal stuff. And I had just got like a MacBook Pro and Logic, and was just kind of fooling around with the idea of like a DAW, you know, and messing with it. And yeah, I went to that festival and I saw so many really, really cool like artists. This was like 2009. I remember I saw like Caspa and like who else did I see? Like Mimosa and Vibe Squad and all these, I don't know, it's just like this total scene and vibe that was kind of percolating at that time of, it's like kind of dubstep, but just, I don't know, just trippy bass music, you know? And I remember just being, I don't know, like, whoa, this shit is wild. It was always like a fascination of like, dude, how do they make that? Like how does that sound come to life? Like,
oh man, the first time I went to what was called a doof in Australia and watched a bunch of psytrance DJs, I thought they were just making all of the sounds on the spot.
Yeah, right? It was like almost seemed like magic or something.
Right.
And yeah, I had been into electronic music for a while, but I had never heard anything like this. Like I, throughout high school, I was really into like a lot of the Warp Records people, like obviously like Aphex Twin and like Square Pusher and like Plaid and Chris Clark. Some really cool stuff that was happening in the 2000s. And yeah, my brother really turned me on to that stuff. So I always had like an appreciation for electronic music, and I liked it, but I don't know. Once I started hearing this kind of stuff, I like really turned me on to it. And yeah, you know, it's really hard to keep a cohesive kind of, I don't know, flow with bandmates, you know, and doing practice. And the idea of just being able to kind of make music by myself and just not have to rely on other people, other schedules was just, I don't know.
Yeah, I felt the same way, to be honest. Like I definitely, kind of had the same realization of like, I did the same thing. I was in metal bands as well. And I was like, oh, it's kind of annoying to have to worry about like getting 5 people or 4 people into the same room to do a thing together. It's like much easier to just sit here and do this crap at home. I wanted to ask though, you mentioned that you did some self-releases on Bandcamp. How do you feel about like self-releases on Bandcamp versus releases on labels? Because like I'm kind of like of two minds about it, right? On one hand, I like to buy music off Bandcamp because it's just an easy process, right? Like I can just go to say like, you know, Tipper's Bandcamp or something, chuck in the number 10, hit buy now. It just goes straight to my PayPal. I hit pay, and then I have the release. And I know that most of the money just went directly to Tipper and not to some label and not to, you know, I mean, a little bit goes to Bandcamp, a little bit goes to PayPal for the fees and shit. But like, for the most part, like the artist is getting the money. Like I think that whole process is awesome. But on the other hand, I also feel like I put so much effort and time into making my music that I don't want to then just go put it on Bandcamp and just have it kind of like pissed away and not get like proper traction. And totally. I guess the sort of line of thinking is if you put it on a bigger label, like say Wakan or something like that, that it will get like more traction and be more worth the time that you invested or something, even though you maybe make like less money immediately off the release, you kind of get recouped or compensated in exposure.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think one of the great things about Bandcamp, like you said, is that it kind of is a more of a direct way to support the artist. And but yeah, I mean, there's positive and negative sides to it. I haven't done a release on Bandcamp in a long time because I don't know, as soon as I kind of got the attention and the opportunities to start working with labels, I just kind of ran with it. And you know, there are so many good labels right now for the kind of music that we do that I haven't done one since probably like 2012, 2013, something like that. But yeah, I used to do them all the time. And I think a big one, like I said, one of the cool things of it is it's a more direct way to support the artist, but it does kind of get swept under the rug a lot of the time because there's I don't know, there's just not as much of, in my opinion, like a really vibrant scene on Bandcamp. There's a lot of like DJs who use it and people who use it to download music, but there's not as much kind of like active listeners, you know, like SoundCloud or...
I also think part of it is that on Bandcamp, there's not like a gatekeeper, so to speak, right? Like anyone can put a release up there and they all look the same. Whereas on, you know, something like Deadbeats or Wakan or, you know, something like that, it's gatekept, right? It's gatekept by, you know, people who obviously like a very certain thing. And totally. By having a release on there, it's kind of like, you know, you're getting their stamp of approval implicitly by having the release on there in the first place. So it kind of like comes with this extra sort of level of respect that needs to be commanded by totally. The release.
It's almost like it's verified by some people exactly. who are really kind of
exactly. It's like a verified stamp,
you know, have a good understanding of the type of music. But yeah, I mean, every now and then I'm cruising through SoundCloud, and especially with a lot of like, I don't know, I'm really into like underground kind of deep dubstep. It's really not that big in the States, and like it's really big, it seems like, overseas in like Europe.
I mean, like it's pretty big at like the Black Box, right? In Denver, they play.
Yeah, you know, the Black Box, but I still kind of consider that a pretty underground venue, you know, compared to something like the Ogden Theater or Cervantes or, you know, it's like it's a heady little 300 cap, and I love playing shows there because, you know, they put a great amount of effort into like the acoustics and the sound system, and I don't know. That's like the best venue for playing deep dubstep, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Super dark and fucking all the people who show up there, that's what they want.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've noticed, to bring it back to the Bandcamp thing, I've noticed a lot of these artists that I'm really into from the UK and from that are more on the deep dubstep kind of tip. They do a lot of their stuff through Bandcamp because, I think it's like an easy way. You don't have to go through all this publishing and all this stuff. You don't have to license it and put it on DistroKid and all this stuff. You just put it on there and set a fee.
DistroKid makes shit pretty easy though. I feel like you can just like, this might sound like weird because they just paid me to do a like thing on my YouTube channel, but I actually do use DistroKid and I think it's pretty good.
Fuck yeah, I use them too. They make things really simple. But yeah, the point is like with Bandcamp, it's as easy as like a couple clicks, and then you have you have your songs up there for sale.
Yeah, I like the Bandcamp subscription thing. Like for instance, Cursor is a good example of this. He has like he releases a bunch of music only to people who subscribe to him on Bandcamp, and the subscription is like $5 a month or something like that. And I think he has like, I don't know how many of it, like thousands of subscribers, right? Who are all paying like $5 a month, which means he's like making thousands and thousands of dollars a month, and he just has to like put tunes up for them whenever they want it, which is fucking awesome because then it's like the people who directly want his music, who are like super fans, who will pay $5 a month to him to get it, are directly connected to him, the artist who's making the music, and they're directly giving money to him and he's directly giving music to them. It's like this really perfect kind of relationship for an artist and fans, I think, in that subscription model type way.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's rad. I mean, Cursor would be a great person to do that because he seems to pump out tunes like nonstop. Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of people do that with like Patreon too, where they'll like offer, music production tutorials or Ableton racks or whatever, I think there's a lot of cool ways to make money in the music industry if you use your mind, and kind of think about it. And because right now there's so many kids that want to produce, that are trying to learn how to produce too. And I mean, I love all the tutorials you've been doing for a long time too,
Thanks.
It's kind of how I first heard of you, is just looking up shit on YouTube. And yeah, always some useful stuff. One of the things that I really wanted to try, I didn't get a chance to, was that plugin that you did something on where you can kind of get individual stems from tracks. What was it like Sleater?
Splitter, yeah.
Splitter.
My girlfriend made that plugin.
Dude, that looked so cool, man.
It's awesome, yeah. So basically, this company called Deezer, who release, they're like a music distributor like Spotify or Tidal or whatever, but they're based in France. They developed this technology called Splitter, and it's like AI based or something. I don't know what exactly that would mean in this case, but it's like they say it's AI based, and basically it's designed to separate the stems out of things, but it's also open source, which is really cool. So my girlfriend, she pretty much took that open source code and then built it into a Max device where it just like runs some JavaScript to pull that code or whatever, or that from a library, and then you just click on an audio file in Live, hit start, and it just splits it into stems for you. It's awesome.
That's insane, honestly. That was like an idea I had when I first started producing. I was like, do they have some kind of plugin where you could just get the stems, get the acapella, get the guitar line? Yeah, it's fucking crazy, man. That's one thing that trips me out, is like where the future is heading, Like, I don't know, just looking at like digital synthesizers, like when I first got into it, I just remember being blown away by like Massive, just being like, whoa, what the fuck? Like all these digital wavetables, you just go through them and just listen to like weird vowel tones and weird sounds.
It's funny how it hasn't changed that much though, right?
Yeah.
Like Serum is ostensibly massive.
Yeah, but I feel like Serum was a huge level up because of how visual it was. Gives you this like visualization of the wavetables, how they, and like, who knows where it's going from there. Like,
Vital. You heard of this new Vital thing?
No. What is that?
It got announced like 2 days ago. It's looking pretty cool. It's basically Serum as well. Or I guess like Phase Plant, that's pretty serum-y too. There's like Serum, Phase Plant, and Vital I think, and Massive, I suppose, are kind of like, to me, like the big four wavetable synths that are just very functional for making like most of the modern sounds you like to hear.
For sure. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. I got the phase plant. It's like the kilohertz. So I got their subscription probably about a year ago. And man, it's fucking rad. Like $10 a month for all their plugins.
Yeah, I think you could probably get away with just Kilohertz's stuff, to be honest, because they have like kind of everything, right? They have like EQs, transient shapers, reverbs, choruses, flanges. Like they literally have like one of everything. And then on top of that, they have that thing called Snap Heap, where it's just basically like you can split anything into like bands and then, you know, affect all the bands separately. And then on top of that, they have Phase Plant, which is like fucking one of the most functional synthesizers that exist.
Yeah, right. Phase Plant is insane. Like I was going through some of their presets and like just like, whoa, they have like full songs on there where you just press a button and it has like drums, bass, and synths. Like you can just keep stacking. Yeah, I really, really like their stereo plugin. It's so useful. I use it on almost everything, every track.
Oh, the Haas one, you mean?
No, not the Haas one. It's just called like KSV Stereo or something. It's fucking rad though. It gives you like a visualization of the mono and stereo field, and it like it's like a little blue line, and it kind of increases the more stereo it goes, and it'll start to get like red color once you start getting weird phase issues. And yeah, it's really useful for I don't know, getting all of your sounds like balanced together and getting your stereo field right.
Dude, speaking of like where music might be going, I saw that you made a tweet the other day about an old flute, and you were like, oh, humans have been making music for a long ass time. I wonder what key the flute is in. And then I had a quick look at that article, and basically it was like people found this flute that they think is 50,000 years old, and it just has like two holes in it.
Just two holes, yeah, right? Yeah, who knows, man? Like, I feel like, honestly, the history that we're aware of is like a tiny fraction, like a fraction of a percent of what actually has happened in humanity. There's kind of like
humanity though, because like, I mean, maybe in the universe, but humanity, I feel like has only existed for a tiny percent of a fraction of the existence of the universe too, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying like our knowledge of it only goes back, you know, once we get past like 1,000, 2,000 years, things get really, really like iffy, you know. It's like, yeah, that could have happened, you know, these are stories. But I don't know, one of the things that I was getting into is some of and this is actually the dude who posted that, was this dude Graham Hancock, and he's really into all these kind of studies of ancient humanity and ancient civilizations. And some of the work that he talks about is how there's like a series of cataclysms if you go back, and it almost seems like it's hard to say, but it almost seems like humanity has had many phases of civilization, and that there could have been like cataclysms that kind of devastate the earth. It's like, and you know,
you mean like there's a whole society and then the earth gets hit by a meteor?
Yeah, a meteor or
out.
Whatever, you know, there's a series of cataclysms. Meteors are a big one, but if you trace back, there's all these kind of these layers of sediment in the dirt from different climate change things, volcanoes, meteors, ice ages. But yeah,
wasn't there like a time where I heard something along the lines of there was a time on the planet where there was such a cataclysm that wiped out enough people that there was only like 1,000 humans alive or something. Like the human race almost got wiped out a couple of times.
Yeah,
and
totally.
Then somehow bred back up.
He has this theory about and a lot of it's verified stuff, that there's this huge impact in North America somewhere around 14,000 years ago. And it was such a big impact that it kind of wiped the whole face of North America content and created this insane climate change because of it, all the, you know, sediment and shit in the air. But yeah, I mean, if we look back, there's a series of cataclysms, and I feel like that's why, you know, people like Elon Musk and all these really rich, you know, smart people want to like go and colonize Mars, or they want to put people on fucking the moon or whatever. Because it's like, if you look at our history, it almost seems like it's inevitable at some point. Some shit will go down, you know. We're just a rock flying through space, you know, with other rocks flying at us and tons of shit, you know, on our own planet. But yeah, who really knows? And that's one of the things that, to bring it back to that, like once we get past 2,000, 3,000 years, it's like, you know, all we know is stuff that was like ingrained in stone and like giant megalithic structures that have survived the test of time. But yeah, I don't know, you know, I'm skeptical about, you know, us just being super primitive in the past. There could have been civilizations that have risen and fallen with the cataclysms and different things that have happened, you know. It's like,
yeah,
it's like there's always these theories of, you know, and you know, like really credible historians and, you know, people who are way up there in the hierarchy of science and things, you know, Plato and Socrates and all these people speak of, like, you know, ancient Atlantis and all these old kind of, and you know, if you look at the oral history from a lot of ancient cultures, they always talk about like ancient India. It's one of the most crazy kind of stories through their, like the Vedas, you know. They talk about like these civilizations that existed like 40, 50,000 years ago. Yeah, I feel like we're just starting to uncover a lot of it too. There's like some of the work that Graham Hancock does is he was like diving under the sea for a lot of years and finding these like like he was exploring two of these specific sites. One of them's off the coast of Japan, and it's like, I don't know, a city that's underwater that's like got pyramids and all this crazy hieroglyphics, and you know, he's like dates back to something like when it was above water was something like 40 or 50,000 years ago. It's like there's all these little blips, you know, and not to be like some crazy conspiracy nut, but it's just like history and all the historians and all of our kind of knowledge of history was all really funded by the Catholic Church, and it was all kind of processed through this filter of the Catholic Church, and a lot of stuff that went against what their viewpoint, you know, and their stories, they would just kind of trash and throw away and dismiss.
Right. They'd be like, oh, no, it can't be correct.
Yeah, they'd just be like, oh, no, that's not true. We'll cut your funding and make sure this doesn't get out. Like, I don't know, you know. It's just, and then, you know, we see stuff like that, like a flute that existed 50,000 years ago. Like, that's pretty wild.
Yeah, I guess our ability to, like, carbon date things and figure out how old things are is getting a lot better too, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And, yeah, just to go on a crazy tangent of history, but who really knows, you know? Who knows, like, were we really that primitive back then? And,
yeah, there's that argument about the pyramids, right, where people kind of think that society was like a lot more evolved when they were built than now, which is like, I don't know about that, because we can definitely build a pyramid now. Mm-hmm. I mean, we built one out of glass in Las Vegas, so I think we could build one out of stone in Egypt.
Yeah, totally.
But I kind of like Louis C.K.'s take on this. He was just like, if you just throw enough slavery at something, it'll get done. He's like, the pyramids are not some technological feat. They're what would you say, like a beacon of human punishment, or like he basically thinks like kings just force slaves to you know, like thousands of slaves to move giant rocks for like months on end.
Yeah, I mean, it's a possibility for sure. What trips me out about all of it is like the precision of the alignments to like space, you know. There's all these crazy alignments to
But do you think that that's just apophenia, right? Because like apophenia being the human's ability to just make unrelated connections to things. For instance, one good example of apophenia is called pareidolia, where you see faces in things.
Totally.
And it's just because, you know, we're so used to seeing faces because, you know, we need to see them for survival reasons and for identification purposes and all sorts of shit. But yeah, like I think maybe it's one of those things, right? Because space is so insanely vast and there's so much shit there that you could almost put something anywhere on the planet and it would point to something in space.
Oh, yeah.
That has some importance.
For sure. I mean, there is something everywhere. Like if you go far enough, you'll hit some kind of star system or something. But I don't know. With ancient Egypt, they had an insane obsession with like the Orion cluster and like the Sirius A and B star system, and they like spoke a lot of it in in like, you know, their ancient texts and hieroglyphics and their story of the Egyptian story of the dead, you know, they have like this shaft that points straight to Sirius, and it apparently is like where they claim like your spirit goes and all this stuff. But yeah, I mean, it could be totally, you know, we don't know everything for certain, but that's one of the things that trips me out about it is their at least their understanding of the astronomy, you know, because it's I don't know, you look out there, it's such a like infinite sea of just stars and planets, and I don't know, for someone so primitive to have an understanding of it, it's yeah, it's trippy, you know, it's trippy.
Right, like they understood that this cluster was closer than another cluster and stuff like that.
Yeah, totally. And they had like a understanding, and they had words and names for them, and but yeah, you know, it's one thing I kind of got into during this whole pandemic was just different, like, I don't know, mythologies, you know. It's like fascinating to me, from like ancient Greeks mythology to like Mesoamerica to India to Egypt to like ancient Samaria. There's just all these stories, and that are they're really kind of like, I don't know, even if they aren't real, they're just really imaginative and kind of cool to listen to. I was listening to some podcasts that would just go through all these ancient Greek stories and these Sumerian stories, and yeah, regardless of the factuality of it, it's just kind of like cool to listen to. They're so imaginative, and there's weird trippy parallels between them and like the Bible stories and all this shit. It's just, it's like a
well, that's probably where like all of these stories come from in the Bible, right? Is these things that are like half fact and half not, and then they kind of get spooled into their own stories that, you know, people just kind of make up the rest and fill in the blanks to kind of,
yeah, totally,
you know, just validate their agenda.
One of the
or
ones
whatever.
that's kind of universal is like the flood stories. There's all these stories of floods from all the different cultures, and yeah, it's something that, like, you know, science and history is starting to verify. They're like, oh yeah, it looks like there was a really big flood after the ice age, like 15,000 years ago or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. It's fascinating to me, is like, to bring it back to the whole flute thing, is just like the past, you know, the history of on this planet. You walk some places, and you know, it's almost like the movie The Shining or some shit. It's like there's events that have happened places, and there's like this lingering energy there, you know, and you can just kind of pick up on it. Like I went to this ashram out in San Francisco. Is like a Hindi ashram, and I don't know, it's like when you walk in there, there's just been so much, like, I don't know, people praying and this positive energy. You just like feel it. You're like, whoa. And same with this like Buddhist temple I went to when I was younger. One of my good friend's dad, he's like this famous Buddhist writer, and he would was actually my friend that I played drums with. Like, he would play drums and I would play guitar, and he was like my most kind of solid musical partner throughout high school. And we would always go over to his dad's house, and he was like the chillest dad ever, you know. He'd let us play music till like 6 a.m. and stuff, and fucking just let us be wild little kids. So he'd always be like, let's go to fucking Clay's dad's house, and he'd always fucking show us weird shit on the internet, weird videos and trippy people. But yeah, he brought us to this temple. I remember going there, and just like the moment I stepped in, it's like I felt this just, I don't know, wild energy of just, I don't know, all this positivity and all this stuff that lingers, you know?
I think energy of physical spaces is definitely a real thing. Hey, and I think a good example of that is shows.
Totally.
Right? Like, when you see like all of these people doing shows on Twitch, or, you know, streaming on Facebook or streaming on YouTube or whatever, it's like, yeah, they're doing the exact same thing they would be doing live at a venue, but without all the people there experiencing the same thing at the same time in the same place, it just does not have the same effect at all.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, you feel it when you go to certain venues, man. There are certain venues that you walk in and you're just like, oh yeah, man, this is going to be a good one. And, you know, part of it is, you know, all the prep they've done, the equipment they have, the space they've created. But I don't know, there's like an energy that lingers from lots of events happening in a place. Like I used to go to one of the first kind of venues I used to just always go to when I was probably like 11, 12, 13, 14. Was this spot in Petaluma called the Phoenix. And it's like just a legendary kind of punk rock, metal, just like dope venue. It almost looked like a church or something. It was like this huge room. And they would have like skate ramps on each wall, like these quarter pipes. And yeah, you just go there and you just feel it. You'd be like, whoa, there's some like essence here from all of the shows they had.
A good example of that is Red Rocks too,
Red
right?
Rocks,
Like you go to Red Rocks and you just like, yeah, you're like, fuck, man, like Hendrix has played here and like, you know, the Rolling Stones have played here and like, everyone has played here. It's like you go there, it's just the craziest
Have
vibe.
you ever been to Red Rocks?
Yeah, a bunch of times. I was living in Denver for like the last 6 or 5 years before moving to San Francisco at the start of this year. And I went there for a bunch of shows, but I've also played there twice. But I've never played there as Mr. Bill, surprisingly.
Oh, wow.
I've played there as Electricado twice, which is my side project.
Oh, that's rad, man. Yeah, I mean, I've always seen all those pictures of like that tunnel too, where all the people sign and put their names. Like it's got to be just like a vibe when you step in there. Like, whoa, seeing all these names and yeah, man, that's cool, man. So you're in San Francisco. We'll have to link up sometime and fucking make some music or something.
Absolutely, man. I'd love to do that. I actually have been going down to Santa Cruz a bunch as well. I'm actually going down there again this weekend.
Oh, dope, man.
To the Sokol demonstration forest or whatever it's called. Do you know that place?
Nah, what's that? Is that like the Satanic Church or something?
No. It's a forest.
666.
So,
no.
Sacred. Sokol, like SOQUEL.
Oh, SoCal. Yeah, fuck yeah.
So, no, not SoCal. Is it SoCal?
SoCal.
It's spelled,
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
SoCal. Yeah. It's called SoCal Demonstration State Forest. Have you been there?
No, man.
Yeah, so I've just gotten massively into mountain biking through quarantine, and I've been going down to this forest a lot because there's this trail down there called the Flow Trail, and it's just fucking sweet, man. It's like 4 or 5 miles of just straight downhill with like flowy berms and shit and like jumps.
Dude, that sounds fun. Yeah, one of my friends, he always goes mountain biking up here, and he's been trying to get me into it because I just need to get a mountain bike because I've been quite a few times and I've always had so much fun riding around.
Dude, it's the coolest shit. Like what you were saying earlier about skateboarding being this thing where like you do it and you're just present is the exact same feeling I get with mountain biking because it's kind of like if you're not present, the resulting factor of that is you just fucking hurt. Yeah, you get hurt. Like the price you pay for not being completely present is high, so you be completely present, right?
Yeah,
and
for sure,
you
man.
don't want to not be completely present because like as you're doing it, like I have to fucking concentrate right now. Like,
yeah, and like physical activities just tend to do that too. Like something about getting your blood pumping and like breathing really deep. And man, one of the things I got really into since quarantine started was just jumping in the ocean. Like I've been jumping in the ocean every day, and even though it's
like off a high thing?
No, just like getting in, you know, just getting in. Like I got really into like Wim Hof. You ever heard of Wim Hof?
Yeah, the
Iceman. Yeah, and he does all these.
Do you do the breathing?
Yeah, he does
shit?
all these breathing exercises. Yeah, dude, I did one this morning, and they just, I don't know, it just sets the tone for my day. It's like, because part of it is you do deep breaths. You do like 30 deep breaths, but then you do these holds. And I don't know, the first couple times you do it, your body just kind of naturally goes into like a fight or flight kind of mode, you know, because you're holding your breath and like your heartbeat wraps up. And I don't know, I have this kind of theory that a lot of things will put you in this weird fight or flight mode, but it's kind of like mastering your physiology of that. Like if you were to do, you know, martial arts with someone who's really kind of skilled at it, you're probably going to like wig out a little bit and like your heart rate will go up. You'll kind of, but for them, they've just done it so many times that they've kind of learned to, I don't know, remain calm and cool and collective during this kind of intense.
Yeah, like they've gained,
of, you know, martial arts.
I think
battle.
a big part of that is just gaining control over your mind, right? Like trying to just like reel in your anxiety.
Gaining control over your mind, but also repetition, you know, doing it enough. Like same with skateboarding. Like the first couple times I stepped back on it, like in my mid-20s or something, it was like pretty scary. Just trying to like ollie onto a curb and grind it. It was like scary as hell. But you kind of like do it enough times to where you get a grip of it. You know, you get a kind of control over your mind and control over your whole physiology, you know, your heart rate, how, you know, it'll start to beat really fast. You kind of slow yourself down. And same thing with the Wim Hof stuff. Like when I first started doing it, you know, I could barely hold my breath for like 30 seconds. Like I'd just be like, like spazzing out. But now that I've kind of gotten in the flow of it, like I did a like 2 minutes and 45 second hold this morning. And
wow.
Yeah, that's like on the 4th round. So it's kind of like you build. So I'll do like 30 deep breaths, and then I'll do like a minute hold. Then I'll do another 30, a minute and a half, another 30. And I did like 2 minutes, 15 seconds. And then on the 3rd round, I did, like 2 minutes and 45 seconds.
That's crazy. And you just, I read somewhere, I saw you tweet that you just stopped smoking nicotine or tobacco.
Yeah, I kind of quit smoking weed and tobacco. It's kind of like I quit tobacco first because honestly, what kind of led up to it, as weird as this sounds, or not weird, but it's just like I was doing a lot of micro doses of mushrooms, of psilocybin for like, I don't know, a pretty extended period of time, probably about a month, where I was doing them pretty heavy, like almost every day. And
like how much were you microdosing? Just like, I don't know, 0.1 of a gram?
Something like that. Yeah, I never really weighed it out, but I would literally just grab like a little stem and take a little bite off of it. I kind of like gained my own kind of knowledge of what affected me and what put me in a microdose by like trial and error a couple times where I ate too much and was like, oh, okay, I'm going to do a little less next time. But yeah, I kind of gauged it like that. I never was like weighing it on a scale. I'm like, okay, this amount. I just kind of got this little nibble that I found worked for me to where I could kind of just, I don't know, it's almost like it just enhanced a couple things. It's not like I was high or tripping or anything like that, but it was like my vision got a little better, my hand-eye coordination got better, my all sorts of stuff, my creativity like boosted up a bunch, my skateboarding went up a ton. Like, dude, when I would take a decent microdose and go skating, it would just be like just super there, you know. I'd be trying new tricks I hadn't tried, like, I don't know, having almost like breakthroughs on the skateboard. But yeah, I was doing them for about a month or so, pretty regularly, and I don't know, it was almost like the psilocybin was just kind of smacking me into place, as cheesy as that sounds, and like, not to like totally credit just taking psilocybin, but it was also a lot of things that I did, you know, on them. But I felt like it kind of gave me these nudges where it was like, yo, like you should probably stop doing this. Like every time, because I was smoking a lot of spliffs, like a lot, you know, I was running through like an ounce of weed every 5 days and just like, you know, 10, 15 spliffs a day. Just like before I ate food, smoke a spliff. After I ate food, smoke a spliff. Before I made music, smoke a spliff. During music, multiple spliffs. Like just like before and after everything, you know? And it was, yeah, it was just kind of back of my head. I was just always like, dude, this is bad. I need to stop it. But it's almost like I would just keep making excuses. Like, oh, well, I'm really productive. I'm making a lot of music and it's working like this, blah, blah, blah.
Dude, that's exactly what an addiction will do. It'll like convince you that it's fine to do, for sure.
It'll make it so
I had the same thing with like alcohol.
Yeah, it'll make it so you like make excuses for like why you're doing it and how it's okay because I'm, you know, I'm being productive or it's not messing up my life, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know, just like doing all these psilocybins is almost like it was just smacking me in the face, just like, dude, no, this is not okay. Like, you're fucking super dependent on this shit. You do it all day, every day. And yeah, I just kind of had this moment where I was like, all right, like, I need to do it. I'm going to give up tobacco first. And that was pretty hard. It was a lot harder than taking a break from weed. like the tobacco thing still kind of gets me every once in a while, especially if I'll have a couple drinks. I'll just be like, oh, like I want to have a smoke. So yeah, I laid off that for like 2 weeks. I kind of like got over like the hill, you know, it's almost like you're climbing a hill, and then like you plateau and you get to the top, and then you kind of start to go downhill. It almost starts to get easier. You're like, okay, I made it. And then after the 2 weeks, I was like, all right, I'm going to do this with weed, because I've done this the past couple of years where I take like a month or 2 months off. But yeah, man, it's been, yesterday was like 10 weeks without weed and 12 weeks without tobacco. So yeah, it's been good, you know, not to fully just credit it to microdosing psilocybin, but I think it played a big part in it, you know, because it's almost like this thought in the back of my head was always there that was like, yo, this is pretty bad for you. Like, you need to stop. Like, you don't have like a healthy relationship with it, you know, which is something that I would love to have. Like, I really do love smoking weed and I love tobacco, but it's like if I could cultivate a relationship where I just, you know, I smoke it once in a while, once in like, you know, once every week or 2 weeks or something, and I'm trying to unwind, I smoke a little bit. But I just tend to like, I don't know, like when I get into something, I really get into it. So if I start smoking again, I'm just kind of worried that it'll start off as like a nice pace where I'll smoke every now and then, but I feel like it'll just snowball back into where I was. So yeah, taking an extended break, and I feel really good, man. I feel super clear and coherent. And the one thing is, though, that I found that I haven't been producing as much music as I was when I was smoking a lot of weed. As weird as that is, like, something about just getting stoned is just easier for me to just sit inside and make beats all day.
Well, that could also just be because that's the state under which you wrote music for so long, right? So it's kind of like you just have to learn how to do it under a different state. Now, like I said, I just went through all the same shit with alcohol. I was like heavily addicted to alcohol for like the last, I don't know, 6 or 7 years. And I just like quit earlier this year during the quarantine, just because it started to get like real bad during quarantine. Where I was just like, fucking, there'd be days where I would like spend, you know, half the day in bed just drinking beers, and like it was fucked.
Totally, man.
But it's the same thing. It's like I wasn't used to operating my life not like pretty much buzzed like most of the time, or at least buzzed for like half of the day, which was usually the end half of the day. So I was just like kind of used to this, like always feeling buzzed and doing shit. And now that I'm like writing a lot of music completely sober, it's like a hugely different experience. It's definitely not the same. Like when I was writing music like drunk all the time or on drugs or whatever I was doing, it always felt like a party, right? Because I was like, oh yeah, this is sick, like vibing and all this shit. But when I write, when I'm sober, it feels like very clinical. It feels very sterile. It feels like I have a list of shit I need to do in the project.
Yeah,
and like,
totally. No,
it's like a
totally
different experience.
agree with
But the more I do it, the more I get used to it, and the more I'm comfortable.
Yeah. Also, I feel like it's like I said, like repetition. The more you kind of get back in the flow of doing it, which, well, yeah, I've made a bunch of tracks since then, but I guess it was really easy for me to just like sit inside all day when I was smoking weed and just make beats. Whereas now I'm just like, I want to go out. I want to be outside. I want to go to the beach. I want to do this. I want to go skate, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, man, I totally agree with you. It's almost like a different mindset that I'm in totally while I'm making the beat. Like I'm kind of like almost like more productive with the time that I use. I won't just like sit and fuck around with like, you know, just adding racks and effects and just experimental. It's almost like more like clinical, where I'm like, okay, I got this little hook. I got this little riff. I'm going to build off of that.
But that also changes the vibe, because if you get too focused, then you start to, or I at least start to kind of convince myself that like, oh, this is like not how music should be made. It shouldn't be like this step-by-step process. It should be more like meandering and flowy and just like whatever happens type shit. But like, I mean, the more focused I get, the more I realize like maybe music is just like a step-by-step process type thing.
Yeah, totally. I tend to have more blockages when I'm I don't want to say focused, but when I'm like really kind of predetermined, when I have like an idea that I'm like, okay, I need to make a beat like this, I need to make it like that. That's tends to be where, I don't know, I'll struggle, or I'll have blockages, or creative writer's block, or whatever you want to call it. Lately, I've been having a lot more fun, just kind of almost just like fucking off and just playing with something, come up with an idea, and then just go from there. Not as much of a pre-thought out idea, or something like a predetermined idea. But yeah, man, I've also been really getting back into playing guitar, and I have a lot of kind of ideas to bridge the two gaps, because I don't know, I've never been much of like a piano player or a keyboard player, and but I'm really, really into playing guitar, and it's almost like I really want to translate some ideas that I have on the guitar to synths and to different melodies and things, but yeah, it's something that I think could bring a cool, I don't know, because there's, you know, it can get kind of repetitive and boring just watching like a DJ just play bangers for an hour, you know, or just like mix, you know, build ups and then drops, build ups and drops. And I think one of the things that really creates a cool live performance is dynamics, you know, is having like, you know, you go really hard, you play some heavy stuff, but then you go into something else, and something more musical, something more flowy or vibey. And it's kind of like an idea that I've had recently, is to incorporate some guitar work, incorporate some, I don't know, just other dynamics to my live performance. Of like
yeah, I agree. Like when you see something like Spongle or something like that, it's like it's kind of like theatrical, yeah. And like parts of the performance have like segments, you know. It's like segment 1 is like all trippy and like thematic with these singers, and the section 2 is like a full orchestra or something, and then section 3 is like, you know, a bunch of different sort of areas of the performance.
Yeah, definitely, that's a good way to put it, theatrical too, because like yeah, no, who knows when we're gonna go back to playing shows and stuff, but
well, we're doing them now, right? You did a show at the Midway in San Francisco recently.
Yeah, for sure. I've done 4 shows since COVID, all in the past like month and a half or so. And they've all been very different. You know, have you done any?
Yeah, I've done 2, and I'm about to do a 3rd in LA on the 28th. But I did the Midway, and then I did one in Wisconsin with Ganja White Night. But the Midway one felt super safe.
Oh yeah,
it was like,
for sure.
Just everyone was outside. There was like 100 people or less. Everyone was socially distanced. Everyone was wearing masks.
Yeah, they actually at the Midway, that was the first one I did. They actually were really good about kind of keeping people in their area. You know what I mean? Like people would be lingering from one table to the other, but it wasn't like a mob of people. Every show I've done has been very different. You know, like I did the Midway was the first one, which was really cool. And yeah, I think it was probably like one of the more safe ones that I did. The second one I did was in Orlando, Florida.
Guild?
No, not Guild. It was like a drive-in show, Ace Motor Bar or something. It was like this crazy Harley Davidson sports bar thing, but they had a huge show out in the parking lot. And that was one of those shows where I like barely fucking made it. I like, it was so lame too, because it's my first time flying since COVID. And like, I was like, all right, cool. You know, like I kind of booked the flight not knowing it was like a super early show. I should have known that, but I was set to like get in at 5 p.m. and my set was at 9. So I was already like, oh shit, like I'm cutting it pretty close. And then, of course, I get there, I get all on the plane, and they're like, yeah, flight has been delayed. Like, you're going to miss your connecting flight. Everyone going to Orlando, come out and we'll reschedule you. And so I got there, and they rescheduled me where I had to go to Seattle and sit there for a few hours, and then from Seattle to Orlando. And it was, yeah,
my God, that's super
out of the way. And I was supposed to get in at 8:40. And my set was at 9, and I was like, damn, man, fuck, that is so close. And then, and on top of it, the venue was like 30 minutes from the airport. So I'm like, shit, man, geez. Like, how's this going to work? And I don't know, normally in that situation, I'd be just anxiety through the roof, just kind of wigging out. Because that's happened to me a few times where it's like, yeah, you're going to get in 10 minutes before your show. And, you know, I'll just be sitting in the airport freaking out all day. But I don't know. It's like, just kept hella cool. Did like my Wim Hof stuff. Just was like, word, here I am. Like, you know, just ride the wave. If I make it, I make it. If I don't, there's not much I can do. And yeah, everything worked out. It was trippy. Like our flight got in 40 minutes early. So I got in at 8. And they had like a rainstorm that happened. So they pushed all the sets back like an hour. So it's like, my set was then moved to 10. So it's like I got in at 8 and had till 10. And I was like, awesome. Fuck yeah. So that was a little stressful, but that show was pretty cool. They were pretty good about kind of keeping everyone in their space. And then the third show I did like a 2-night run on Halloween. And this was like probably my favorite one I did. It was this show called Revibe. And they rented out like 2 towers of this hotel, and everyone kind of had a room and they're all watching the show from the balcony.
Oh, interesting. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and they had like a little, it was in Myrtle Beach, so it was a really cool spot. Like the stage was right like the backdrop beyond the stage was like the ocean. And they had like a little grass area with a bunch of those pods that people could come into. And that one seemed like really safe as well. Like they were really good about keeping everyone in their area, and there's just plenty of space. And most of the people, it seemed, were just watching from their hotel room because, you know, they could party and fucking do all their crazy shit they're doing in their hotel room. And
yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah,
actually.
that one was it was really cool. Like after the show, we all had rooms there and just, you know, got to kick it with a bunch of friends I hadn't seen. And yeah, it was definitely, I feel like my favorite one I've done. The sound system was fucking dope too. Quite a few of the shows I've done have been kind of like, not the best sound system. But right. Yeah, super fun. It did seem like the promoters probably lost a decent amount of money on that though. Because
I mean, it's hard to do a show right now if you're trying to pay everyone properly. Yeah. I mean, you can't really do a proper paying show right now because the capacities are just so low. But also, it's like they rented out these 2 towers to this really expensive hotel. It was like the Hilton or something. And oh, damn, wouldn't have people just paid for that though with their, like, because they're buying the rooms?
So tickets were really expensive, but it seemed like there were 2 towers, 2 different stages, and I didn't even make it up to the other tower, but it just seemed like there's like a good, like probably 50% of the rooms that were empty, you know? So,
oh, wow.
So yeah, I was like, damn, I bet they kind of took a hit on that, but it's an awesome idea for sure. Like everyone being able to have their hotel room and kind of party and drink beers and fucking have a couple of their friends kicking it. It was awesome. Yeah. What have your show experiences been like?
They've been pretty good. I mean, like I did the Midway one, that was cool. And then the only other one I've done was the week before last in Wisconsin with Ganja White Night. And it was fine. I mean, the show felt safe. It was an outdoor drive-in show with like, I think 600 cars. And everyone was sort of cordoned off in these little barriered areas. And I wasn't really near any of them because I just, you know, was behind the stage for like 10 minutes before my set. And then I played and then I left directly after my set. So I like didn't have to sort of interact with anyone because I'm trying to like, you know, keep my risk of getting COVID as low as possible. And I think the sketchiest part of the entire trip was just waiting in the airports and the flight and stuff like that.
Yeah, totally.
Because, I mean, there's this website called microcovid.org where you can calculate how many micro-COVIDs an activity costs you to do. And one micro-COVID is a 1 in a million chance of getting COVID. And I calculated for the entire trip how many micro-COVIDs I got. And the result was about 250. So I basically had for the entire itinerary a 250 in 1 million chance of getting COVID.
So that's really low.
It's pretty low, but the biggest like costs of like where I would have gotten COVID was in Minneapolis airport when my flight was delayed and had to wait there for a while. So I think I probably won't do a whole lot more shows in the near future that require flying. But this next one that I'm doing is in LA, also with Ganja White Night at the NOS Center. It's going to be a little bigger than the Wisconsin one. But again, it's going to be a drive-in. People are going to be cordoned off in their little, staunchened areas. And I'm just going to drive down to that one, I think, because it's like a 6 or 7 hour drive. It's like not worth flying that and risking all of that shit.
Yeah, totally, man.
And I'm also not going to stay in a hotel because the hotel was also like apparently pretty risky to stay in, especially in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, where the cases are quite high. So this time I'm just going to get an Airbnb where I have like the whole place to myself.
Hell yeah, that's right.
So it should be pretty low risk for me at least.
Yeah, my girlfriend thinks she got it like last year, and this is like before the kind of.
Tell her to get an antibody test.
Yeah, this was before before the real wave happened here. She just got like, because she was working actually at I think it was at the Midway, and she was doing like coat check, so she was like touching all these coats and just dealing with all these people at some show. And yeah, she got like one of the worst fevers that, I've ever seen her have and that she's had in years. But it was in like December or something. But there's
a pretty low chance because like, so for instance, I thought I had it in March, right? Because I was flying around a ton, but I called my doctor and he was like, it's probably not likely because the cases are so low right now that you probably actually had something else like bronchitis or something like that.
Yeah, it could have totally been the flu. She just thought it was that because, she's been sick before, but yeah, I don't know, it's trippy. There's so much different information on everything going on, but yeah, I feel like it's better to stay safe. Like, I'm wondering how everything's going to pan out as winter comes around. And, like, it's like cases are probably going to be coming up. It already seems like they are kind of coming up again. Mm-hmm. And
that's because dining and shit is opening up.
Dining's opening up. And Florida's fully opened up, dude. Like,
right.
They're doing, like, huge raves there and huge parties. And I don't know, it's... We'll see how everything goes coming with like the new president coming in, but it seems like, I don't know, there just wasn't any real kind of like federal kind of federal like guidelines, it's like they just left it up to every state and every state was doing different things. And yeah, it just doesn't seem like it was very effective in any way, like the shutdown that they did. I guess it kind of like, isolated it a little bit, but they didn't do a good job. And now it's like, we're almost like a year into this shit and it's like coming back. And also it's going to be winter. And it's like, how are they going to do all these drive-in shows in the winter time, with fucking rain and snow and cold weather?
Dude, the one in Wisconsin was fucking freezing, man. It was so cold.
Yeah, I bet, man.
But yeah, I agree. It's going to be pretty weird in the winter. I think everything's going to shut again pretty soon.
Yeah, right. That's kind of the way it seems. I saw that they're shutting all the indoor dining in San Francisco, I think, this weekend.
Oh, right. Yeah, I didn't think I heard about that. But I know that they opened indoor dining recently, and I think they were allowing either 25 or 50%. I think 25% capacity for indoor dining, and the cases are just going straight back up.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, we'll see what's up. I was literally reading some tweet from fucking Donald Trump this morning or yesterday, and he was like, we have a vaccine that's 90% fucking like works 90% of the time, blah blah blah. But it could be total bullshit coming from him. Like,
yeah, I don't think I'd listen to anything he says.
Dude, have you been looking at his Twitter lately?
No, I should though.
Oh my God, man. He's just in full denial of like losing the election.
He's always in denial of everything.
Yeah, right. It's just so bad.
I saw some tweet he made the other day where he's like, it was the day that people were like, all right, Biden won. He was like, all right, big conference happening at something in Pennsylvania. And then like somebody Googled the place.
Oh my God, yeah, I saw that.
the place where he was holding this like big important conference was like this weird little like lawn bowls office or some shit. Like that was just the dumbest.
It was like a sketchy looking parking lot. It was like there's like a biohazard sign like right next to the stage. It was so funny looking. I saw this picture with like this like toxic radiation sign.
Yeah, he's like
he's like
big press conference today in Philadelphia at Four Seasons Total Landscaping, 11:30 a.m.
Yeah, dude.
And then if you Google Four Seasons Total Landscaping, yeah, it's just this weird little industrial looking building.
It's so funny, man. That was honestly like, I don't know. Him losing the presidency has just been like a huge source of just laughter for me, because he just takes it so personal. And I'm no like Joe Biden fan, but I do think he's a way better option. At least he's like, doesn't deny science and like isn't like fucking, in my opinion, as much of like splitting up the nation into some kind of crazy fucking tribal warfare mentality.
Yeah,
it's wild, man.
Yeah, no, I think we're in for a better 4 years than the last 4 for sure. And I'm with you. I'm not like a giant Joe Biden fan, but I mean, for starters, I can't even vote in America because I'm not an American citizen. So,
you're spectating like, oh my God.
Exactly. Like yeah, exactly. I vote in Australia because it's mandatory for me to do that. But
really, it's mandatory? That's rad.
Yeah, voting in Australia is mandatory. If you don't do it, they give you a fine.
Wow.
So I vote there, but cool. I mean, if I were to vote here, I would 100% have voted for Biden, obviously, but I wouldn't have been voting for Biden for Biden. I would have been voting for Biden against Trump. Basically.
Exactly. I think that was the big determining factor. I don't think there are too many people that are just like, oh, I love Biden. I love it. It was more like there's a lot of people who are like, dude, fuck Donald Trump. Like, this dude's an idiot. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like, United States has had some weird obsession with like celebrity presidents, like Ronald Reagan. He's like a famous cowboy like actor. And then like, what did we do in fucking 2016? It's like we elected some fucking reality TV star. Like, I don't know, it's fucking wild to me. America has always had some weird obsession with celebrities, like obsession with people that are in movies, people that are, I mean, I feel like the whole world is, but it's like here, it's like it's almost like
it's like, have you ever seen the movie?
It's like worship or something, It's like crazy.
Have you ever seen the movie Idiocracy?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and they have President Dwayne Elizondo Mountain Dew Herbert Camacho, and it's like Terry Crews with a fucking AK-47.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that movie had some good parallels to just the last 4 years, in my opinion. I don't know.
Agreed. That's all I could think of. Is like Donald Trump is literally fucking Terry Crews.
Yeah, right.
Although Terry Crews, I think, would make an actual not bad president in comparison.
Yeah, right.
Hey man, I gotta bail because like I'm fasting and I really need to eat some food about now. But also B, I gotta do some other shit as well. I want to go for a ride before it gets too late, and I also want to do some other. I gotta record a tutorial, stuff like that.
For sure, man. Awesome. Well, it was good chatting, homie.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's good to finally have a chat with you. It's nice having this podcast because I'm getting to chat to people that I've been meaning to have conversations with for a long time but haven't gotten around to.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. And definitely let's stay in touch, man. If you're coming up to Santa Cruz, hit me up. And likewise, if I come down to SF, I'll holler at you. Let's fucking link and make a tune or something.
Yeah, man, super into it. All right, well, yeah, thanks again, and have a good one.
You too, man. Peace.
All right, see ya. Hey, thanks for listening to the Mr. Bill podcast. These episodes are edited and uploaded twice a week by Robert Fumo of 303podpro.com. You can also support the show, get early access to episodes, and hear bonus content by going to patreon.com/Mr. Bill's Tunes and becoming a patron. Please rate and review on iTunes unless you're going to be a little shit about it. And all the links to my various platforms are at MrBillsTunes.com. Thank you.